This is the Orderflows Delta Scalper market recap for March 30, 2016. First, a quick disclaimer. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation to buy or sell a futures contract or make any other type of investment decision. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, this first chart is an E-mini 5-range chart. And just before 9:30, there was a buy signal right here that kicked off. Now, it's Wednesday. You got oil inventory numbers. It's up to you if you want to take any type of trading signal a few minutes before a data release. This went off around 9:26. At 9:30, you got a number coming out. Today, the market didn't really react that much to it, which is strange. I'll say strange, but sort of out of the norm. Usually we'll get a 2 or 3 point move in either direction right off the number. But anyway, if you had the balls and you wanted to take it, it did pop up. It did go from basically around the 60 level up to 63.5, made a new high. We did spend a lot of time above it. I'm not saying you'd hold it all the way up to the second high. If you popped up to this high, started coming off, you'd probably be getting out somewhere in this bar or somewhere in here for a couple of points. After this high at 10:06, we got a sell signal that kicked in, just as we're coming off the high, and this one worked out very nicely. The market just sold off basically from the 63 level, quite down to the 56 area. Where it just sort of hung around and then went sideways for a while, and then obviously it went lower. But that was all for the 5-range chart. There was 2 signals only this morning on the E-minis on the 5-range chart. On the bond chart, again, this is a 4-range bond chart. I look at 4-range bond charts. Just around 8 o'clock, there was a sell signal. We did pop up through it by a tick, just on the other side up here. Before selling off quite nicely. This is around 163.29.30, and we came down. I'm not saying you would have gotten the entire move, but there was plenty to the move that you could have got. We sold off a full point, which was quite nice. A little bit later, there was a couple other signals. This is a different indicator actually. This one and this one. Those are not the scalper. And that was all for the day in the bonds. Basically just one trade, but what a nice trade. If you get a full point, that's a $1,000 move. Okay, we'll talk about crude real quick. This is crude oil, a 1-minute chart. 7 o'clock is a good time to start trading crude. You could start at 5, you could start at 6. I mean, it's up to you what time you start. For me, I prefer during the U.S. session. That's when you can get the most liquidity in the contract. And this is 7:16, so 1-minute chart, 7:16. You got a buy signal here, nice move up. Here's a sell signal. It failed. It would have stopped you out. What else we got? I don't remember. Again, another buy signal, 8:45. Came right up here to the sell signal, which didn't really work out. Again, probably would have stopped you out. It just sort of went sideways. Eventually it worked out. It's just you had to figure out where you're going to put your stop. I mean, to me, this is a big move. I wouldn't sit through that. I would have a stop in. I would have missed the move. This move lower, but I mean that's trading. You're not going to catch every single move. Okay, this is the time at when the inventory numbers came out. It gave a sell signal right before the number. It sold off, but I'm not going to take any trading signals a minute before an inventory number comes out. It'd be nuts. 9:54 gave a buy signal here. He took a little bit of heat as he went through. 5 or 6 ticks is okay. 10 ticks is another story. It did pop up a little bit, but then you got another sell signal here at 10:02. It initially started going in your favor, came back up through it, into this area. I talk about where you could enter. Lots of times, I even have an entry base setup where you could get in, on these pullbacks as you could just come up sort of towards the top of this bar. And then, it did come back off again. So, it's giving you a chance. Later, we did spend a little bit of time up in here. Again, we're still in this position, assuming. Then selling came in and, the market sold off quite dramatically after that. It's debatable, people would ask, would you still be in, way out here? This is a 1 minute chart. You're getting short at 10:02. 10 minutes later, it's sort of hanging around your entry price. Do you want to stay in it? It's up to you. Usually, I'll give a trade, 15 minutes, 30 minutes to work out. If it's sort of spinning its wheels, that's another story. It goes in my favor. It spends majority of the time in my favor as opposed to a little bit not in my favor. So, you could have, if you're patient, you could have caught this nice move. Give a buy signal here. Yeah, again, it sort of hung out. Then, would have stopped you out down here on the sell-off. And, what time is it now? 11. The buy signal didn't necessarily work out. I think you would have been stopped out. I don't think you'd have been holding on to it for this move a little bit later. You would have, if you weren't stopped out, you would be thinking about getting out of it at a small loss somewhere in here. What else? 1136 gave a sell signal here. A nice sell-off. At the 38.45 level. Good 20 points more or less. Buy signal here right at what time is that? 12:09. It did pop up a bit. Sort of crested up here, then sort of came back down. Started just sort of hanging around the level. It's one of those things. If it spends, when it's in the money, I'm more inclined to give it a chance to work out rather than just sort of at the first sign where it sort of pokes down through that level to get out. Later, 12:58, just before 1 o'clock, another buy signal here. And, there's a nice kind of gradual grind up, without any major selling coming in. What time is it now? It's already 1 o'clock. It's getting towards the end of the trading day. Volume is thinned out. This is a E-mini 5-minute chart this time. It's a 5-minute chart. And, just before 7 o'clock, it gave a sell signal. Here's a nice little sell-off down, from the 60-ish level down to the 57-ish level. That's pre-market. I'm not sure, would have been trading. There was a signal here. I took a trade, but it wasn't based off this. I took a trade off of, my order flow reading. But nonetheless, it did pop up, from this, from this bar here. It did give you a chance for, 2 to 3 points there. A little bit later, 12:30, we came down into this low area. And, giving you another signal here around this 53 level. And, all the way up to 60. Then we close for the day. This is already the next trading day. Thursday's trade date here. This is the evening session just reopened. Okay, just real quick. This is a Euro currency futures, the 6E contract. This is a 10 range chart. This is 6:30 in the morning. So I'm not a big fan of trading during that 6:30, 6 a.m. time. I prefer after 7. Yield floor hours reopen, is 7:20 a.m. So, anytime after 7, I'm really looking for, here was a sell, didn't work out. Here was a sell, didn't work out. Here was a sell, right at 7 o'clock, 7:01. It worked out nicely. I'm not saying I would have not taken these and taken this. It depends what time you're going to start trading. Your trading day. Normally for me, for Euro currency, I'm not looking to trade it, basically before 7:30. I look at it, but, I'm not necessarily looking to take trades in this time. This is the London lunchtime. London is one of the big FX capitals, trading capitals in the world. I don't want to be trading it when everyone's, not say everyone, but a majority of the participants are out to lunch. That's why I'd rather wait to 7:30. So I'm not saying, I would have taken this, I wouldn't have taken these 2 trades and taken this. I mean, that's bullshit. You should, you got to decide what time your trading day is going to start. I'm just showing you this, doesn't always work in a sense. That's why you got to have stops, but, you're getting stopped out on this one, getting stopped out on this one. You got another one right here. You could have made back, pretty much everything. Then, gave another buy signal here, 7:41, did pop up a little bit before coming down. Gave a nice buy signal down here. This is 113.30. It did rally up to 50-ish level. Gave a sell signal here. It would have stopped you out. That was it. There wasn't much. Don't worry about these. These are something else. Here's another sell signal, 10:54. It popped up initially, and then, did what it's supposed to do. I mean, let's see, did what it's supposed to. The market did, the market continued as it should have. And, so if you're getting short somewhere in this area, 55, 56, it's giving you a nice little trade down into the 40, 44, 45, 46 level. And then, just right before, really for the euro currency, by 2 o'clock you should be done trading. I'm not saying, you know, this is a signal here at 3 o'clock. You know, cash market's essentially closed, so there's not going to be much activity at that point. Okay, just real quick, Delta Scalper runs on NinjaTrader. It is designed to run on any type of chart. It can run on order flows, volume, footprint chart. It can run on bar charts. It can run on Renko charts. It can run on candlestick charts. It can run on range bars. It can run on almost any type of chart. And it can be run on any intraday time frame. You know, this is an E-mini 1 minute chart. You know, once you get a 1 minute chart is about as thin as I would cut it. You know, on the Delta Scalper. And, you know, again, this is around 7 o'clock. You know, it's a dangerous trader before 8:30, just because you don't necessarily have a lot of liquidity. But, you know, it's giving you some sell signals, you know, buy signal here, sell here. 8:30 cash opens, you got a buy signal just after the cash. You know, I'm not usually looking to trade around that cash open anyway. Gives you a couple buy signals here, didn't necessarily work out. You know, this trade I took was off by reading the order flow, so don't think it was off the Delta Scalper. It just happened to show up on there. And, you know, here's a nice buy signal, nice rally up here, you know, to this, took out the high. You know, if you could have stayed, I was never really against you. You know, no reason necessarily to get out in here, but did give another signal here. You know, if you didn't get out, it would come down to your break even or your stop price. Here's a sell, didn't work out. Here's a buy. You know, I don't think you would get stopped out, but you'd have a small profit. Here's a couple buys, and here's met with a sell. You know, this one reacted a little bit better, gave you a little, you know, more of a movement, you know, from this 56 level down to the 53-ish level, where you're starting to get some buy signals. You know, here you're getting a buy signal back up to the 56 area. Sell signal started to work out, but then, you know, it sort of failed on you. Here's a nice little buy signal. You know, this is around the 55 level, up to the 58 level, gave you a sell. You know, you run into this next signal here. It's already 1:40 in the morning. Actually, 1:40 in the afternoon. This one probably would have stopped you out here. You know, didn't work out. This one did. Nope. This one didn't really. Probably would have. I don't know if it would have stopped you out, but you know, you get a signal here to get out if you're short. What time is it now? It's going into 3 o'clock. And I got this little bit of sell-off going into the close. You know, there's just going sideways at that point, and you know, we close for the day at this area. So thanks for watching this video. For more information on the Delta Scalper, visit www.deltascalper.com or visit my main website, www.orderflows.com. I said, you know, you could run it as a standalone. You could run it in conjunction with, you know, basically, you know, any type of chart you like. You know, for me, I look at Orderflows chart. So, you know, do I find it works better on any one type of chart? Not necessarily. You know, if you're used to looking at a certain type of chart, you know, throw it on there and see how it looks. You know, it's a nice little indicator and a nice little guide, you know, on which way the market is turning. You know, I mean, market's all is driven by supply and demand, and Delta Scalper is you know, created to catch those shifts in supply and demand. You know, that's where you're going to get trends starting. So thank you, and you know, catch you on the next video.